Firstly, we would have to prepare the necessary hot and cold water bath in the indicated temperatures, which would be 15 Celsius, 22 Celsius, 37, 50, and 70 Celsius. Label one of the test tubes as blank and place 30 microliters of water in it. Take 5 other test tubes and label them as 15 degrees Celsius, 22 degrees Celsius, 37, 50, and 70 degrees Celsius, respectively, to the temperatures they represent. Take the first test tube and prepare the mixture according to the table shown. The first thing you will be adding would be 500 microliters of 150 millimoles of lactate. Next, you will be adding 1900 microliters of caps buffer. Now, 500 microliters of 6 millimoles of NAD+. Lastly, you will be adding 30 microliters of enzyme LDH, but this step needs to be done right before you place it in the spectrophotometer. Now place each test tube to incubate at its designated temperatures for 2 minutes. Next, you will have to set the spectrophotometer at 340 nanometers before you actually start measuring. The last step to conclude the effects of temperature would be to place the samples from each test tube in a cuvette and take the absorbance of each. Make sure to not leave any sample in your cuvette for too long before taking the absorbance of it. For the part of the experiment where you have to measure the effects of pH, you will need 4 test tubes and you'll need to label them as 5, 7, 8, and 9 respectively to the pH values they represent. You will be following the chart from Part A, Effects of Temperature, to create the mixes again in each of the 4 test tubes, just that this time you're going to replace the caps buffer with the corresponding pHs. For each test tube, adjust the pH value to the respective one, pH 5, 7, 8, and 9, and incubate at those pH values for 2 minutes. Yes, recording. To conclude the effects of pH, you will place the samples from each test tube in a cuvette and take the absorbance of each in the spectrophotometer.